Okay, good afternoon or good evening. Hello, Nick. Did I know that fish aren't real? They're just people employed by the government to protect the ice wall. If- Does that include tropical fish? Hey, Nepal, how you doing? It's a ploy. Nope, I did not know. Is it a so I know that Argentina recently they either they did or they are about to release the files on uh the former Nazi um people that were that migrated to Argentina, like escape from the or shouldn't say escape because in a lot of cases they were assisted by the U.S. or other agents to get from the collapsing Nazi Germany to get to Argentina. So the big myth is that the mustached guy survived and that it was the body was actually a woman's body and all kinds of stuff. So they're saying they're going to be releasing all of that stuff. They even have this photo. I mean, you can never really believe photo, but it's some super granular photo of the mustached fellow with his grandkids.
I don't wanna risk it all again, but I don't wanna be on my
I remember my
own.
professor told me that it's
It
what
always
the
goes much
I don't know.
better
He said
in
it with
my
authority, but
head,
basically that the Russians had
but the
burned
feelings
a lot
that
of the
I've
bodies.
wasted, so I'm sorry
So it was just like a series of
for breaking down when you said
deletions
you
and
got
burnings.
me. I'm used to being let down, but I'm
All right,
hoping
let's catch up.
if
So this
I
is what the shader
fall
looks
too
like.
fast,
Um,
then you'll catch
let's
me.
play it.
You'll catch me. So I'm
So let's
sorry
play it, and we'll see.
that you might have to see I'm not flawless. I promise that I'm facing my problems. If I'm falling too fast, will you catch me? Will you catch me before I crash?
I'm not sure how clear it comes through on YouTube, but basically, yeah. Background is doing its little wiggly thing. Trees in the foreground are doing their wiggly thing. Um, and we have the little star drops. So that's a shader. That's all one shader, by the way. There's just different materials doing with different values on them to get different effects. But yeah, that's basically it.
I'm so afraid that you'll run out of
Pretty cool,
patience.
huh? And like I said, when I was
Trust
getting
me, I
all of
know
those
how
errors,
it
as soon as
feels
you
to be
restart Unity, that had less to do with the shader and more to do with
sometimes I don't know
graph
if I
itself.
can even
It'll throw a
change,
ton of problems
but
until
I'm
you
still
restart Unity.
trying.
It's
So
a,
I'm
I think, a
sorry
known issue.
that you
Anytime
might
that I use
have to
shader graph,
see
And that's one of the things. I streamed yesterday how to use shader, or my usage. I didn't show much of how to use it, but I did. But I streamed a lot of the shader graph yesterday because a big hurdle for me personally was actually opening it and using it and being confident with using it. Like how I am with programming, I already, once you know what you want to do, you can just do it. Shader graph kind of needs you to get past that hurdle to get to that stage of just opening it up and just doing what you need to do. So it's really just to show, hey, anyone can really do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. That's basically it. All right. Just because I'm so tired of April Fool's stuff, I've seen like maybe 3 April Fool's jokes fly by my nose today, so I'm going to give the world's most let's say foreign policy related dad joke ever. And it goes like, and I'm not a dad, but it is a dad joke. It goes like this. So what do you this guy asks another a North Korean, what's the worst thing you can say about North Korea? And the guy responds, the North Korean responds back, I can't say. There you go. Alright, let's get out of here. Alright. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of explaining today on what I'm doing with code. It's mostly just going to be doing stuff, but I will explain first what the goal of today is. I'm not planning on this taking any more than maybe an hour or two. Yes, taking an hour or two. It's basically, we're just going to be visualizing the node at this point. So the very first thing that we want to do is create a visual sample, or prefab, for us to, but we have to do a couple of things. But ultimately what we're going to get to is we're going to have skills on this over here and the ability to move it around to see the skills that are in different places all over the place. All right. And then I'm not sure if we're going to do the drawing of the line. But sorry, that's a thing that we could possibly do. All right. So it's mainly 2 things that I want to nail today. Visualizing the node placement onto the grid, and the other one is moving the grid around. Which should just move the whole thing, because I want to get the look down first, which is why I'm moving into that direction instead of moving the other way. Alright, so let's do that. So, again, I'm not going to really go into what the code is doing. We have made some small changes onto the code since yesterday. I put in my documentation for what I needed to, but basically, most of this code is still the same since you saw me write it like 2-3 days ago. Okay. So we just need to make some accessors for this class to be able to get data from here. Now, I was debating whether or not I should make a lookup table here for this. I'm still not sure. Yeah, I don't think, if I feel that optimization is needed, we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it is. Oh wow. Okay, I missed chat. It's the on that scale. I've been wait. They never documented the deletion. Yeah. On that scale, it may have been impossible since they just put you in a trench if they didn't like you. Sure. Very silly times. April Fool's is my favorite day of the year. I haven't seen any. I'm gonna retell you that for the entire week for this. 100%. Anyways, now I'm gonna tell a joke. Good stuff, man. Congrats. Congrats. Piece by piece, right? Work our way up. Today it's Unity, tomorrow it's A Sprite, and the day after it's... Say it with me. Starts with a B and ends with an ender. Okay, I think that's it. And then we just return that. Yeah, those are the only accessories we're going to need. We can get rid of this stuff. Alright. So the next step is we need to make, let's make the small script first. So let's go back over here. I just need to get a visual of what's happening. So we go to our testing. We can go to scene. Okay. So ultimately what we want is for the grid to move this entire thing, right? So if we move the grid, everything should move. So it's not the background, it's the tree we care about. So, yeah. So now we just need to find out where that grid is. This is it, over here. So I think the tree wants to be a child of the grid. And we can put this over here to make sure it's behind it. And we're going to make a new script, and we're going to call it... this is going to be more of a utility script. We're going to call it... This script is going to allow us to drag this grid around. But I want to make it in such a way that I can use it for any script. So it's not just limited to this grid. So we're going to make it its own thing. So we're going to call it Rect Scroller. And we're going to attach it over here. As soon as Unity decides, there we go. Okay. So we're going to start off with, we need to give this thing a range because this is going to be, it's going to have a radius. Okay. We also want to take, I forgot how to do this on Unity event. I think it's mouse. Ugh, it's been so long. You know, if we do this, we might be able to get it. There we go. Okay, that's what it is. So let's think about this. We want to do something when we press down and are holding down. But we need to know when the pointer is down as well as when the pointer is up. Right? That's it. So also, we want to have, serialize these. There we go. Okay, so the very first thing is that now if we do this, this needs to be the same size. This rec needs to be the same size as the object that it's on, right? So let's do that. Okay, there. Right? So that's what we want. Let's see what it looks like over here.
They say to run when it all goes dark, but I know where I'm gonna be. Next to the girl with a broken heart and a temper like the fallen leaves. I want to have
I think that's roughly the center. So that's where we're going to want it to default. We actually need to find out where 0, 0 is on this. There it is. Okay. So 0, 0 is down there somewhere. Perfect. So now all we have to do is move this up. There we go. Then move this over to the right. There we go. So now we just need an object to measure 0, 0 by. Let's do that. So the rub is we need the tree to be here.
Yeah, love, yeah. You must walk on water, cause I'm drowning and you made it. Met you on the corner, first in line,
What the
that was
heck?
payday. Candy
Oh,
colored
whoops.
nails, match the candy coated bands. I needed your
There we go.
contact. My eyes
Now we
bugging
go
on my
0, 0.
head, cause you hot as shit.
Okay, so I was in the right place.
Not no bottom, top notch shot it. Love me like
That's
I love
crazy.
myself. Love it when she smiling me. White teeth with a heart of gold, and I'ma put a diamond in it. Ring, 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 ring. Love calling me. Ring like the camera. She calling me. Ring, ring, ring.
So now, once we have this established, we can basically move this to like right here.
I ain't miss a call yet.
All right. So the origin position of this, let's just make it a nice number. Negative 375 is going to be that. So let's go into UI grid and let's just serialize field.
When she round me, she come first and she quick, quick. She say she feel my emotions when I just give thanks, can't believe we in the same bed. God do it best. Shout out to my angel, she a mess. Clean up when she stressed, never stressing me. Lucky please, I'm the luckiest. Feel it in my chest. Treasure you, I swear you a diamond. Ring, 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 ring. Love calling me. Ring like the camera is free when she calling me. Ring, 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 ring. Love calling me. Love calling me. And I ain't miss a call yet. I ain't miss a call yet.
All the barricades, I wanna know why they hold me back. Need a miracle to break me through, but I won't get that. If I was a real wonder, then I could save me from turning around. Lift me off the ground, and one day I'm free. Yeah, I wanna be a real wonder. Heaven lift me up from under. Wishing I could be somehow stronger now, so I can fight away all the pain inside me. Never be afraid of the fate that finds me. Wishing I could be stronger, so I can be a real
There we go.
wonder.
Okay, good.
If you wanna be a wonder, baby, come and show it. Tell me what you feel in your heart and your soul. There's nothing I would take for granted. With me, we'll make it through. Takes two hearts to fix heartbreak. We grew apart, I made a mistake, but I'll try to make it up to you, my darling. Ooh.
All right. So now when we move this, we need to get the mouse's position and then drag sorry, and then drag the mouse position when we need to pick up on when we drag the mouse position. So I think there's actually one for, there we go. I think we could actually use these instead of right. I think we could use these instead. instead of the I pointer down and having to come up with our own drag system, I think we could just lean into that.
I'm finding a way, I can give it you well, but I want you by my side of my whole day. I know I'm a fool, I don't even care. I want you to listen to what I say. I love you, but it's so confusing. I'm winning at the same time losing. I love you, but it's so confusing. I'm winning at the same time losing. I'm not ready for being loved. I need more time, a little more. I'm not ready for being loved. I'm walking home, I'm walking home. I've never been desperate to find someone who loves me. Yeah, I've never been that way. I have never been, I have never been. No.
I think we're missing something. Right, because we need a center for the radius to be. And instead of elasticity, there we go. It is going to be drag, and we want to have the max scroll, max scroll speed. We can set that to like 1 or something. Right, so the drag is basically the slowdown effect as the, so like when we left click and then drag something, it's got to have some kind of drag effect on it that starts to slow it down. We're going to decrement it, but we're also going to include how far it is from the maximum radius. So let's say the maximum radius is like 50. So how far from the center this is will increase the amount of actual drag on this. So you can call this something like float effective drag, which is going to be now, this is assuming that, because I don't know how this actually works. So we're going to be playing with them a little bit to try to figure out like what Unity already does for us. Because it might be that this is not necessary if this is handling it for us out of the box, right?
Blame it on me. You're just too scared to be lonely. No
Um,
one's safe from the reaper. Not a saint nor a sinner. Rage under my skin, slowly descending.
get rid of this.
madness. Let it spread like a virus. Be a friend with the violence. Help, there's blood on my hands. Somebody save me from myself.
All right.
I'm off of the meds and it might get hideous. Why so serious? fell asleep with the sirens out. There's blood on my hands. Somebody save me from myself. I'm off of the meds and it might get hideous. Why so serious? Run for your life, cause it might get hideous. Why so serious?
Right back. Right, okay. Alright, so let's start with initializations. Our usual things that you buy stuff. So on Awake, we're going to get this. Because that's a weird thing about this. You can't just do this. On this, Unity will treat it like a normal transform. What we want is direct form. Right? Then we're going to need an update. So So since we're going to be mimicking, we're going to be creating like a fake physics system on the UI. So anytime that you're about to start doing anything that's supposed to reflect some kind of physics, you're going to need this property. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's actually bring this over here. Because might. Let's say this is only going to happen when this is greater than 0.1f. Otherwise, we don't do anything. Okay. So now here's where the magic is going to happen. Again, this is a fake physics system, so we don't actually have to put this in fixed update. Or I think it's fixed, yeah, fixed update on Unity. It's physics update in Godot. So let's work on begin drag. So let's assume we know what's happening here. When we do this, we're going to set is dragging to true, and the velocity is going to be equal to that. So we're going to immediately just tell this thing to stop once because we don't want it to keep rotating when we begin to try to drag it again. It's going to stop, go to vector 2.0, and then when we release, we're going to do a calculation to find out how far we are. Yeah. So I don't think we need... Wait, let's get rid of these for now. I don't think we need them. Right, so when we end the drag, we're going to keep these because it's possible that these two don't work the way I think they work. All right, we're going to keep these two as simple as possible for right now. So when we, because I know how these two work, I don't know how these two work. I've never used them. So we're just going to turn is dragging false here. Keep it super simple. If these two have an issue, it'll be very easy to figure that one out. So on pointer down, we're, I guess, you know what? Let's flip it. Let's flip it. And let's put this... Let's give this the actual formula. Let me check if they have anything else here for me. I just feel like... Yeah. Okay. 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 Alright. I'm gonna put my faith in Unity. Let's do this. I'm gonna go here, and we're just gonna get rid of this. I'm putting my faith in Unity at this point. Alright. And... Okay. So then we're going to assume that we do the calculations here. Right, so first we're going to have to get the delta. And that's just going to be the event data delta. And we just multiply that by the max scroll speed. And we're just going to update the velocity. It's going to be delta divided by time dot delta time. Right? We just need to make something here now that's going to move the rect. Call it move rect. So let's do that. We don't need to make these. Let's just get rid of this. Pretty sure we can. No, it wants it to be public. Okay. Let's get rid of these two. So we just need something now to move the to actually move the rect, right? I wonder, maybe we don't need this. Because on drag is happening. Know what I mean? That might be a thing. I don't know how this works. I'm gonna have to look it up. But I'm just working off of my instincts, for the most part. So let's do void move rect. And we're going to pass in the delta, so the vector. So we need to give it the new position. Then we need to clamp that position based on the radius, and get the actual clamped position. Then we can just pass that through. Here too. Oh, thing to equal to, I guess. To full position plus the delta. Then we have to do. We have to just get the clamp position here. This is going to be a little bit tricky. So let's do that first. Well, not tricky, but a little verbose. Supposed to be vector 2. Okay, so first we need to get the direction. So we go vector to direction, or is going to be equal to the position. The unclamped position center, and we need to normalize this. Right, and then we just get the distance from. There we go. I think it might be better to just.
Don't you think we could be different if we could just take it slow, let it go, roll down all the windows, feel the wind rush through, hear the music, take the groove. Don't you know all I'll ever really wanna be is a connected high, you and I.
There we go. And so now we just need to check if the distance is greater than the radius. From there, we're done. So from here, we just need to offset. So we just get the center plus. This is the offset, the direction multiplied by the radius. Not the radius. Direction multiplied by the distance. Otherwise, I think we just return the position. Otherwise, yeah, we just return the, because we're working off of the local position. So, what is the unclamped position again? It is this plus the delta. So we just need to return the rect transform local position. So now here we can just do clamped position is going to be pose, and then we can just do the rect transformed local position is equal to clamped, and that should be it. And over here we can just do move rect. Oops, there we go. Oh, I forgot to save. Let's test it out. Let's see if it works. So there's a couple things we need to make sure of before we even do that. We can get rid of this. We didn't end up using it. We'll implement it later, I think, but for right now we don't. So implementation. Something is weird here.
Lately you don't feel like yourself, you kinda hate it. You suppress all of the thoughts in your head and say
What did I miss?
complicated. You hide your pain, but I can see it etched on your face. I know the feeling, swear you're okay, but
Oh, I think we need to have to do... Let's wait, because the way that I have this set up now, we don't even need the velocity. But right here is where we would do the velocity decay. So this should let me take a shot. What this is going to do is we're going to just go by the max scroll speed. Yeah. Do it like that. Right, there we go. So then over here, what we're going to do is ultimately, this is kind of what we want to have done. I'm not sure, though. Alright, so let's do it. Vector... Well, we can just use the velocity again. Multiply that by... I think that's good. So if we're not currently dragging, we can continue to increase. So let's look at what's happening. So when we do drag, let's not do this yet. We can do that here. So over here, what we're doing is we're just increasing the velocity by the amount of time that we're doing, by the delta that we're given here to the max scroll speed. Then we pass back the velocity, which is being handled over here whenever we're not dragging. So once we release the drag, it'll look at this, and then it will apply the move rect. No, I don't want this. This is a slingshot. I mean, it's nice, but this isn't useful. All right, let's get rid of this again. This will create a slingshot effect. So instead, let's go with this. We're going to forego velocity for now and just use the delta and see what happens. Because this way would have led to a slingshot. Once we released, it would just shoot the distance, which is fine, right? But then we'd have to create like a bouncing effect on the outside to keep it within the sphere or circle. See what chat's up to. Blender Nepal says, have you tried the first Berserk Kazan? I have no clue what that is. First Berserk? I have to look that up. Agent Sausage, putting your faith in Unity is a crazy thing to do. Good luck. Thank you very much, Agent. I'm hoping it works out. I'm about to test it out now. Nepal fingers crossed, definitely. Okay, let's find out if this worked. Okay, so ideally what should happen is when I left click, I should be able to move this. Actually, hold on. We need to set something up. Very important. We should always make sure that we have the raycast set up properly. We don't want to be hitting things that we shouldn't be hitting. And also important, this doesn't have anything on it for this to hit. That's problematic in itself. So we need to just put like an image here. We can just make it transparent. That's the easiest way to just get that be a thing. So we just need to make sure that this is active, the raycast target, and that's it. Next, we just need to turn off these other raycast targets. We don't want to hit these. Okay, these are all off. Now, at some point, I might put all of these under a canvas group. That would make all of that less tedious. But not this day. Alright, so I don't see any other, just a canvas. Alright, let's try it. Actually, let's do a little test here ahead of time.
Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Alright, we're testing it out. You know, as they say, trust but verify. Do it.
Take my eyes open to force reality.
Hey!
Why can't you just let
You guys were saying I shouldn't trust Unity.
I live
Now, there's a problem.
world of make-believe.
Oh, maybe not. It's allowing me to drag really far out.
Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if
Okay.
my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Oh, what did I just do? There we go. So we probably don't even need the is dragging stuff, the velocity stuff. We really could just get away with probably just this on drag, which is sick work, really.
Content, hold your breath and feel the
Hey, Stoner.
devils hide behind
You know, man, I was thinking about you earlier. I was like, shoot, I don't want to stream without first doing some research on. I wanted to give you an answer for any new game jams that were like 1 hour long, that were like consistent. If it was like a community of people doing that, the only game jams that I know of that there's like a setup community and stuff is on Godot. I used to be part of that, but they only do game jams each month, and it's like a 5-day game jam kind of thing.
picking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pocket.
Okay.
I'm like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
All right. So let's test the. Looks like we don't need these. This is super clean. I like this implementation. Unity did a good job. See, we can trust Unity, guys. We can trust. We can put our faith in Unity. They may need to bring Riccatello back. All right. So for now, right? All right. So we know that that's working. We need to just test something out with this, because I'm not sure if this part of the script is working. So, like you see here, the radius should be it shouldn't have allowed me to go out like that, right? And the center isn't actually, so it should be, the center should be, well, hold on, let me take a look at the debug. Yeah, negative. That's a local, oops. This is the local position. Okay. Negative. Okay. So the radius that we should be able to go should not, it shouldn't allow me to go that far out. So we have a problem with the code. It might be this. Let me try this. Let's think about this right now. We pass in the unclamped position. Then we figure out the direction and the distance. And if the radius, if the distance is greater than the radius, then we stop. We just keep returning. Let me see something. I'm pretty sure Vector 3 has a built-in clamp. Hold on a second. There we go. So this should be not necessary. All right. I don't know how this is going to work, because this would be doing magic as far as I'm concerned. It should have a third, so I don't know what's happening under the hood with this, but I'm going to trust I'm gonna trust again. In the process, see what happens. Like under the hood, like my brain is telling me that doesn't make sense, but let's find out. Sometimes, you know, you just gotta test things out. Oh, we're locked in. It doesn't want me to move anywhere. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Alright. Okay. So I don't know what the heck this is doing. Clamp magnitude. Because it returns a vector 2. I need to look up the docs on this. Returns a copy of the vector 2 with its magnitude clamped to the max length. Okay. Let's try to return the unclamped position and see what happens. For now, April Fools, I hope that was a joke over Catello. I appreciate that, brother. You didn't have to. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, if you're interested in giving Godot a chance, there's definitely a very active community for that. I know Unity probably has something similar, but I have no like I'm talking about like on a Discord channel, right? Like I know that I think it's called. Let me actually look. I think I'm on Discord right now. Give me a second. Yeah, I was on Discord. Give me 1 second. It's called Godot Wild Jam is the Godot one, and let me check if there's a Unity one real quick. Like every month they do a jam with the Godot Wild Jam. I remember that one. I think the Unity one is more like just random people coming in and then starting up their game jams. So they have like super big ones, super small ones, but I don't know. I can't find it. All right, let's test this out, see what happens. Oh, are you streaming right now, Nepal? Okay, so it knows that it's at the edge, but it's still letting me change the position of this thing. Ah, okay. Let me go max, well, not max, but a larger size to see like what it feels like, actually. We need to apply a different shader to this one, the galaxy. I want to give it like a rotation right now. That's what I'm thinking. Right now it's like kind of just hovering. I'm not sure if it's noticeable. But yeah, it does pick up according to the console, it is picking up that we are at the edge. It's just that this value right here is no bueno. Oh, whoops, that's why. Okay, now it should lock me. So let's try. Yep, now I can't move. That's exactly what it is. We're at the edge. So now if I increase the radius by, let's say, 50. There we go. Alright, so let's go like 1,500. Awesome. Okay. Now, unfortunately, that's not good. Oops. Go to 2,000. Okay, then we can increase the scroll speed. Let's go double. There we go. Now we can get to anywhere basically in one drag. Awesome. The 2,402. Okay, so now the next question is, when we drag, do we want it to have that physics feeling? What do you guys think? Should I add that to it, or like this is how it is right now? It's more snappy. So like, let's say that you're looking at your skill. Let's imagine there's a whole bunch of nodes all over the place. If you wanted to get to any node right now with the way that it's set up, you could just drag this and you could get to any part of the skill tree. In one go, just like that, right? The alternative is, you see, like now I can only, like when I left click and then unclick, it just immediately stops. Do you think that I should have a kind of like velocity that is decaying over time after I release? Or do you think that you want it to just like immediately stop when you get to like a certain part? Like, you know, you want to get here, stop. Get here, stop, things like that. This part goes really far. I'm gonna look it up though, I promise you that. because I don't know. I just randomly decided that I wanted to get this part done. So this is half of it done. We made that scroller. So now the next part is to get the next part is to get the nodes on the skill tree, right? In the proper positions as well. So there's a grid, and that grid is going to start off where this white thing is right here. Right? Because this where is it? This image right here is positioned at 0, 0 on the grid. So 0, 0 on the grid should be that part. So the first node should be right here, and then it will have the nodes going out and around and things like that. All right. All right. Be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
In the morning, you felt so safe back then. Be honest, you live in your own circle.
Okay, we're back. All right. So that was a simple little script. The next part is more complex. We need to make a script for the we need to make two scripts. We're going to make one for the skill tree UI. This is going to be the thing that translates information from the skill tree, from the character who owns the skill tree that is being displayed. Bear with me. And then it is going to be supported by the skill node UIs, right? Which is going to be the visual display that we get here. So we're going to make prefabs, right, for these. Okay. So let's just be sure that skill tree. Yep, we already have skill tree UI here. So this is from we started earlier. So I think we can get away with putting the skill tree on the grid also. Why does this have a canvas renderer? Testing has a canvas. What is this doing with a canvas renderer? I don't even know. Oh, okay, gotcha. Image. It's just so weird seeing it over here. I'm used to seeing it at the bottom. There we go. Okay. So, our next line of work puts us directly into this script. Alright, so skill tree UI. This is going to have a second script, so let's make that also. Oh, we already have it here. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So this needs to have a button on it. The node. Let's get like a simple version of the skill tree working. So we need first thing first, access to our grid or UI grid. Right. And then we need on enable, on disable. We need a list of all skill node. Ugh. I'm gonna pay attention to this time. Let's see what happens. List, serialize. Do we need? No, we don't. List. Ugh. Okay, I keep doing that. Okay, that's what it is. So the very first option is NUIT framework. We don't want that. We want system. Wow, holy cow. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. The amount of things with the list in it before we get to system collections generic. There we go. And this is the interface, it's not even the actual list. I never tried this. I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's try it. I'm just messing with stuff now just to see. Hey, it does work. There's no concrete class on it, but that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get this out of here. Okay. Then we need to know the entity play entity ID. If
Visions of you.
okay. We need to give something access to this. We can assume that this is going to be the only one of it, right? In the game. So let's do private static skill tree. Right, but we don't want everything to get access to all of its stuff. We just need it to get one thing. And that is public. So
Two's company, we're limited. In the end, we lay in the end. I seen the end before the beginning, but I began anyway. I began. 'Cause all it took was a love, and for you to say,
you know what? We should probably make a helper for that. At this point, I think it makes sense.
the quiet down is compromising me now. Is compromising me now. 'Cause I want everything now. Because I want everything now. But the quieting down is compulsory now.
she might be pretty, but I promise it gets scary. Once she wants your daddy and she finds out where you live. Creeping in the shadows, eating poisoned apples. She's nothing like you ever seen. Her mood goes up and down and round and round, and ain't no telling what she might do next. Cause she's a itty bitty spider with a itty bitty lighter, and she might just come for you. Should always sleep with one eye open. You better keep in mind to always look over your shoulder. Cause when you think you're safe, just stay awake. She's moving closer. Cause she's an itty bitty spider with a itty bitty lighter, and she might just come for you. She's a snake crawling, creeping on the floor. If you give her time of day, baby, that's your first mistake. She will swallow you whole, for you know you're controlled by a sweetheart criminal. Never thought that she's a itty bitty spider with a itty bitty lighter. You should always sleep with one eye open. You better keep in mind to always look over your shoulder. Cause when you think you're safe, just stay awake. She's moving closer. Cause she's a itty bitty spider with a itty bitty lighter.
There we go.
Just
It's a useful one. All right, let's go back. And oh. No, it's there. Oh, I see what the problem is. There we go. So basically all I did there was just made it so that way I could do something. Like that, if I wanted to. For this. update the display. Okay, so if we tell it to update the display and the entity that we're putting in doesn't match the entity that's already being displayed, then we'll clear the tree, and then we do display, or rather populate. There we go. So now we just need a factory. Right. We just need a factory, right? We need to create a new so first things first, we need to have some prefabs over here. Let's complete this process, by the way. Right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to call it here, I think. Like I said, I didn't want to spend way too much time on this, and I feel like we accomplished a few things. Let's fix this one error. Because next we're going to be working on this. We took care of, I think, 3 classes, basically. We got this done. I did a little bit of coding before I even started streaming, so I'm going to count that also. This one was interesting, right? Because we really got to, like, understand how drag works. This is called basically, I think, every frame. Super cool. Alright. While it's true, it's called. That is super awesome. Yeah. We call it there. I think that is where we're at. That was a wonderful little session. I'll see you guys tomorrow if all things work out. Take care.